Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Srimad Bhavatīm class, which is from Canto 1, Chapter 16 and Text 19. It's a recording of the class given by Srila Prabhupada in Honolulu, Hawaii, in 1974. Without further ado, we'll start the class. Hare Krishna.
Dharma uvāca, kaccid, bhadre, nāmayam, ātmanas, te, vicchāyāsi, mlāyateṣan, mukhena, ālakṣaye, bhavatīm, antarādhiṁ, dūre, bandhuṁ, śocasi, kañcanāmba. Dharma uvāca, kaccid bhadre nāmayam ātmanas vicchāyāsi mlāyateṣan mukhena ālakṣaye bhavatīm antarādhiṁ dūre bandhuṁ śocasi kañcanāmba Dharma uvāca kaccid bhadre nāmayam ātmanas vicchāyāsi mlāyateṣan mukhena ālakṣaye bhavatīm antarādhiṁ dūre bandhuṁ śocasi kañcanāmba Dharma uvāca kaccid bhadre nāmayam ātmanas vicchāyāsi mlāyateṣan mukhena ālakṣaye bhavatīm antarādhiṁ dūre bandhuṁ śocasi kañcanāmba
Very nice. Yeah. Go on.
Any synonyms? Dharma uvāca. Dharma inquired. Kaccid. Whether. Bhadre. Madam. Nāmayam. Quite hale and hearty. ātmanas. Self. Te. Unto you. Vicchāyāsi. Appear to be covered with the shadow of grief. Mlāyata. Which darkens. Isha. Slightly. Mukhena. By the face. ālakṣaye. You look. Bhavatīm. Unto yourself. Antarādhiṁ. Some disease within. Dūre. Long distant. Bandhuṁ. Friend. Śocasi. Thinking of. Kañcanāmba. Someone. Āmba. O mother. Translation. Dharma, in the form of a bull, asked, Madam, are you not hale and hearty? Why are you covered with the shadow of grief? It appears by your face that you have become black. Are you suffering from some internal disease, Or are you thinking of some relative who is away in a far distant place?
You can read the purport, it's small.
Purport. The people of the world in this age of Kali are always full of anxieties. Everyone is diseased with some kind of ailment. From the very faces of the people of this age, one can find out the index of the mind. Everyone feels the absence of his relative who is away from home. The particular symptom of the age of Kali is that no family is now blessed to live together. To earn a livelihood, the father lives at a place far away from the son, or the wife lives far away from the husband, and so on. There are sufferings from internal diseases, separation from those near and dear, and anxieties for maintaining the status quo. These are but some important factors which make the people of this age always unhappy.
So, this age of Kali, we have discussed in the previous verses, is very degraded age. In the beginning, there is Satyajug, the next Tretājug, next Dwapar-yug, and this is the Kali-yug. The aggregate of all these four yugas is called yuga. Sahasra yuga parjantam arahajyat brahmanovid. The duration of Satyajug is 1800,000 of years. And the next Tretājug, roughly 1200,000 of years. And Dwapar-yug, 800,000 of years. And this Kali-yug, 432,000 of years. So we are in this Kali-yug. In this Kali-yug, we have passed only 5,000 years. Out of 432,000 of years, we have passed only 5,000. Since the battle of Kurukshetra, which took place 5,000 years ago, the Kali-yug has begun. So this chapter is on the subject matter, how Parikshit received the age of Kali. We are studying this chapter at the present moment in Los Angeles. We are studying, and again, after that, we are presenting. So, Kali-yug is not very good age, simply false. We have several times discussed that in this age, people's duration of life, mercifulness, bodily strength, and so many things, 8 kinds of things, will be reduced. The age is reducing, the bodily strength is also reducing. Now you American generation, you are not as strong as your father or grandfather. You can understand that. You are not so luxuriantly grown up, bodily growth. There are so many reasons, but this is the symptom of age of Kali. They are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, foretold 5,000 years ago what will happen in this Kali-yug. That is all explained in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd, 4th chapter. So, simply full of faults. Social life, political life, religious life, everything has been described there. And one thing I can see very practical, that in this age, lavannam kesadharanam, it is stated there. The people will think that by keeping long hairs they will become very beautiful. That is stated there. Dampatya ratimevahi. Husband and wife's relation will depend on the strength of sex. These are described there. Vikāramevahi udvāhi. Marriage will be performed simply by agreement. Now this is Shastra. 5,000 years ago, what was written, that is now becoming true. Now there is no marriage as it was taken formally. Vedic marriage, the father and mother will select the bride, bridegroom, and there will be gorgeous ceremony in marriage. The father will spend, both parties, the girl's father and the boy's father will spend. Still in India, there are cases like that. They will spend their hard-earned money during the marriage ceremony of their son and daughter. But in this age, gradually, it is said, Sikarameva udvahi. Udvaha means marriage. Taking the charge of the girl. The boy takes charge of the young girl from the custody of her father. This is marriage. Women, according to Vedic civilization, they are not recommended freedom. They should be taken care of just like children are taken care of. You cannot give independence to the children. That is not possible. Then it is not good for them. Similarly, women also should be taken care of. They should not be given freedom. That is not good for them. They should be protected by the father in childhood, by the husband in youthhood, and by the grown-up children in old age. 3 stages. But in this age, a woman are trying to take independence of father, husband, or children. That is not good. That is described in the Shastra. So many symptoms are described, but at the end, the remedy is suggested, because Shastra means it will guide you for the ultimate goal of life, for the perfection of life. So, if the world condition is so bad, then how people will be saved? That is also suggested in the Shastra. Kalau dosa nidhi rajan asti jiko mahan guna. Parikshit Maharaj was advised by Sukadeva Goswami, my dear king, I have described so many faults. It is like the ocean of faults. But there is one boon also. That is special prerogative, special advantage of this age. Kalo dosa nidhi rajan asti jiko mahan. Kalo. Kalo means in this age of Kali, it is full of faulty things. But there is one boon. What is that? Kirtanādeva Krishnasya mukta sangha param brajet. Kirtanādeva Krishnasya, simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Simply by chanting the holy name, Kirtanādeva Krishnasya. Krishnasya. So, mukta sangha, he becomes free from all these contaminations. That is one thing, simply chanting Hare Krishna. Kirtanādeva Krishnasya, mukta sangha. There are so many contaminations, so many faults of this age. But simply by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one becomes Kirtanādeva Krishnasya, mukta sangha. He becomes free from the contaminated association. Just like if there is some epidemic disease and if you take vaccine, it is supposed that you are free from the contamination. So this vaccine of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra will keep you fit without any contamination of this age of Kali. That is happening. All over the world, people are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and practically we see those who are chanting, they are becoming free from the contamination. If you follow the rules and regulations, very simple thing, and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that is our only request, that in spite of this contaminated age of Kali, you will be saved. You will be saved. That way, that is our Krishna consciousness movement means that we are preaching this cult. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama iva kevalam, kalo nasti va nasti va nasti va gatirannata. Without this, there is no other way of saving you from the contamination of Kali. So, here another question is the Dharma uvāca, personified Dharma. He is inquiring from the cow. He is addressing cow, Amba. Amba means mother. The cow is our mother. Why mother? Because from practical point of view, we drink milk, so how cow is not mother? She is mother. You are taking her milk. There are 7 mothers according to Vedic civilization. Ādau mātā gurupatni, brahmani, rajapatnika, dhenu dhatri tatha pritti, saptaisti, matari smrita. Real mother, from whose womb we have come to this world, real mother, Ādau mātā. Then Guru Patni, wife of the teacher or spiritual master, Guru Patni, Brahmani, the wife of a Brahmana, Ādau mātā, Guru Patni, Brahmani, Rajapatnika, and the wife of the king or the queen, she is also mother. Dhenu, the cow is also mother, and Dhatri means nurse. Nurse is also mother. Tatha Prithvi, and the earth is also our mother. That we say in the country which we take birth, we say Desha-matrika. And in Sanskrit is called Desha-matrika. That is also mother, motherland, mother language. So many mothers we have got, out of which cow is also mother. Therefore she is addressed as Amba. Amba means mother. Still in Gujarat province they call Amba. And in UP, United States, a United Province in India, they also call Amba, or in a broken language they call Amma. Still, so that is from very long time, mother is Amba Devi. From Amba Devi, there is a big temple of Mother Durga, Kali, in Bombay. So this Amba Devi was pronounced by the Englishmen as Bamba Devi. And from Bamba Devi it has come to Bombay. Actually, there is a big temple of Amba in Bombay. From that name, instead of Amba, they have become Bamba. That's like from Sindhu, they have designated the inhabitants of Sindhu Desh as Hindu. The Mohammedans, they pronounce S as H. So from Sindhu it has come to Hindu. Otherwise this Hindu name is not mentioned in any Vedic literature. It is given by this name is given by the other foreigners, especially the Arabian countries. They used to call this nation Bharatvarsha. Actually, Hindu is not a religion. Hindu is a name given by the foreigners. The religion is of India, varnasrama dharma, following the institution of 4 varnas and 4 ashrama. That is or Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma means eternal religion. Religion of human being is one. That is called Sanatana. A living entity is described as Sanatana. Mamayivāṅsa jiva bhuta jiva loke Sanatana. In the Bhagavad Gita you'll find Sanatana. And Krishna is also addressed in the 11th chapter as Sanatanastam. And there is another place or spiritual world which is also called Sanatana. In the Bhagavad Gita you'll find Parastasmat bhava anya bhaktya sanatana. So this Sanatana term is very important. The living entity is Sanatana, and God is Sanatana, and the spiritual world is Sanatana. And the process by which your lost relationship with God is established and you go back to home, back to Godhead, that is called Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma. That is our eternal relationship with God. And there is a place. So the system which makes these two Sanatana, God and the living entity, meet again, and they go back to enjoy life in the spiritual world, that system is called Sanatana Dharma. Therefore Sanatana Dharma is not meant for any particular class or particular country or particular nation or community. No, it is meant for the whole human being, especially human being, others all living entities. Living entities, they are in this material world in different forms. That is accepted by Krishna. Sarvajoni Shukontiya Sambhavanti Murtayaja. There are as many forms of life amongst the living entities. Tasang Mahajjani Brahma Aham Bija Padapita. The Mahajjani, Mahat is material world, material elements are the sum total of material elements. Mother, Durga, she is the mother, and God is the father. Just like father and mother gives birth to a child. Similarly, we spirit soul, the part and parcel of the Supreme Father, and the material elements, Bhumi, Rapana, Vayu, they are the recipient. Tasmin garbham dadamaham. Just like father gives the seed in the womb of the mother, then the child gets a body and it grows and come out. Similarly, this body is given by mother material, material energy. But the father is the Supreme Lord Krishna, aham bija padapita. This is the factual position. We are not this material body. Dehi nasmin yatha dehi kaumaru yugunang jara tatha dehantara prapti dhiras tattva naviyati. So we have got all information in the Vedic literature beginning from Bhagavad Gita and then described further in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 4 Vedas. The 4 Vedas, Sam, Juju, Rik, Atharva, they are concentrated in the Vedanta Sutra, and the Vedanta Sutra is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, our propagation, this Krishna consciousness movement is that we are trying to get our students well conversed in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So those who are our students, we have got our books now ready, published so nicely. People are accepting it. I was very glad to hear from our Maharaj that we are selling about 100.
Close to, yes.
Eh?
Close to, they're doing close to 100 Krishna books a day sometimes.
Yes. So it is very good news that people are reading our books. We have already got about more than 1 dozen such books, 400 pages each. And besides the smaller books, now we are immediately going to add 6 more books. What are those? 3 Bhagavatas?
Bhavatīm, Chaitanya Charitamrita.
One, all 400 pages like this. We don't publish a book less than this volume. To just imagine how much we have to learn about our spiritual life. In no other system, religious system you may call, or cultural system, can give you so many books to read. There is no comparison. The Christians, they can present only one small Bible. And the Muslims, they can present one little Quran. But here, the Vedic culture is so great that we can simply give you 60 volumes like this, only for Srimad Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam is the 18th Puran. So there are 17 Puranas, still more, not yet touched. Besides that, there are 108 Upanishads. Then there is big Mahabharata, the great history of India. Then Ramayana. There's so many books. So we are trying to present all these books into English translation. So it is a culture, Vedic culture, which if it is spread all over the world, people will be benefited. Because at the present moment, people do not know what is the treasure house of spiritual culture. They do not know. They have got some vague idea. Neither they are offered such volumes of books. So those who are present here, our disciple and not disciple, should understand that this Krishna consciousness movement is a great scientific movement. It is not a bogus, bluffing movement. Very scientific movement. So in this movement, our one program is to respect the cows. We chant this mantra, Namo Brahmana Devayo Go Brahmana Hitaya. The Brahminical culture and the cows. Why they have selected the cows? There are so many animals. Why cow protection is so important in Krishna consciousness? Why Krishna personally himself became a cowherd boy and was taking the care of the cows and the calves? Oh, that is very essential. And here also you see that the Dharmaraj is inquiring about the comforts of the cow. Amba, kaccid bhadre, what is it? Nāmayam, ātmanas. Āmayam means disease. So whether you are quite comfortable by your health. This is very essential to keep cows very comfortably. If they feel comfortable, then you get the most nourishing food, milk. We are practically seeing in our new Vrindavan center, because the cow are feeling secure in our custody, they are delivering milk up to the 80 pounds daily. Daily supplies. So if you get milk products, milk, then you can prepare so many preparations full of vitamins, which will nourish your brain. Dull brain cannot understand what is spiritual knowledge. Therefore, Mr. Bernard Shaw, he wrote a book, perhaps you know it, You Are What You Eat. If you keep your brain dull, then how you can understand? Because without becoming very intelligent man, one cannot understand Krishna consciousness. That is stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna je bhaje sevara chotu. One who takes to Krishna consciousness seriously and perfectly, he must be very, very intelligent. A dull brain cannot accept it. Bhaunam janmanam ante jnanavan mang prapadat. So we have to make our brain very clean. And for that purpose we require to drink not very much, at least 1 pound or half pound milk daily. That is essential. But no meat eating. This is intelligence. The milk is also conversion of the blood. Everyone knows. Just like we drink the milk of our mother, the color of the milk is white. But everyone knows that milk is produced from the red blood, red corpuscle. So this is the process that people are very much anxious to drink the blood of cows from the slaughterhouse. They sometimes drink fresh blood of milk. Is it not? Yes. That is not very good intelligence. You drink the blood of the cow by natural process, which turns into white milk. You'll get better brain, better strength. Therefore cow protection is very essential in Vedic civilization. Therefore we offer respect. Krishna is the benefactor of cows and the Brahmana. Namo Brahmana Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya. Go Brahmana Hitaya. Krishna is well-wisher. First, go, cows. You'll find Krishna always with cows. Here is Krishna's picture, you see how he's loving the cow and the cow. He's personally teaching from his childhood, from his boyhood. So we should follow. If we want to become Krishna conscious, we must give. The calf is also seeing to the face of Krishna for protection, and Krishna is giving protection. Yes, I will give you protection. So this is the position. And here is also Dharma. Religious life must begin very clean. That is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Jīsāmantagatam papam janānaṁ punya karmānaṁ te dandamahaninmukta bhajanti māṅadirabhrita. Sinful life will not help. That is practically everyone knows. And we see so many varieties of people, men in the society. What is the difference of variety? One has got good brain, another has got dull brain. That is the variety. So if you want good brain means how to get relief from all the troubles of material existence. That is good brain. And bad brain means to become implicated more and more. They do not know, because they have got bad brain, they do not know how spirit, soul is transmigrating from one body to another, how he is becoming entangled. Today I have got very nice body, American body, but what is the guarantee next life? But they do not believe in the next life because they have no good brain. So, in order to understand things as they are, you require good brain. And for good brain, you require milk preparation. In this way, as there's suggested and routine in the shastras and guided by sadhu guru shastra, if we accept, then we shall become very happy in this life and next life also. That is Krishna consciousness movement. Thank you very much.
This question, I actually have 4 questions, but one would be sufficient to ask. Is that are Srila Ananda Goswami and Chusta Krishna Maharaj and their followers more advanced in their understanding of Krishna and the spiritual masters than the other devotees of ISKCON? And secondly, have they advanced beyond following the rules and regulations of ISKCON?
That is up to you to judge by the result. If they are actually advanced, why they should leave this company of ISKCON. Therefore, I know they are very good souls. They might have done some mistake out of misunderstanding. I invite them to come back again and take their position. It is not very good sign that they have left. They will never be happy. That's a fact.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful lecture by Srila Prabhupada, talking about the importance of cows. The translation earlier was about the personification of religion, Dharma, in the form of a bull, seeing the cow morose and asking questions about how the cow was feeling. And Srila Prabhupada segued into so many things about the cow and how important the cow is to us. What is this is a time to unmute yourself. If you have questions or comments, you can unmute yourself and express yourself as you wish. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? While devotees are thinking about that, let me talk about my takeaways from this. There's a lot to take away. He talked about this age, Kali Yuga that we're in, being very degraded. Then he went into the ages because he mentioned Kali, so then he felt it necessary to talk about all 4 ages, Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali. And Satya Yuga is like 1,800,000 years. It's actually 1,728,000 years. It's almost 1,800,000. Treta Yuga is about 1,300,000 years. The specific number is 1,296,000 years. Then Dwapara Yuga, 864,000 years. And this Kali Yuga, 432,000 years. So we're in Kali Yuga and we're 5,000 years into it, which leaves 427,000 years to go. Things will get more and more and more degraded. And he mentioned 8 things gradually being reduced. He didn't go through all 8 of them, but he talked about the bodily strength for one going down, people getting weaker, and the duration of life is also shorter, as you know. Satya Yuga, people can live up to 100,000 years, but then in Kali Yuga, the age is up to 100 years, not 100,000. It's shortened that much. So, and then people are also keeping long hair, especially the men keeping long hair. Women have kept long hair. There's nothing new. But men also keeping long hair is all unusual things in Kali Yuga. And marriage used to be where parents or both sides spend hard-earned money. You have a very nice ceremony. Man and the young man and the young woman get married. And also the parents are quite instrumental in finding the spouse, finding the men. This is all discussed between families. Women are supposed to be taken care of in young age by the father, in marriage by the husband, and in old age by the grown-up son or grown-up children. That's the way it is. Women are not supposed to be left alone. They're supposed to be protected in these 3 stages: young, teenage, and to adult, and then when they are older, to be cared for by their children. So many things are troublesome in Kali Yuga, true enough. But there's also one advantage, one boon. Just by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can become free from the contamination of this age. He gave an analogy: in an epidemic, when one takes the vaccine, then they can be free from the disease of that epidemic. So if we follow the rules and regulations of spiritual life and chant the Hare Krishna mantra, we'll be saved. Personification of Dharma, we talked about that, the bull, is inquiring from the cow. Then he explained how the cow is our mother because we drink the milk from the cow. There are 7 mothers: the real mother, the one that gave birth to us, the Brahmana's wife, the king's wife, the cow, the nurse. And then he went into talking about the cow. It's called amba. And sometimes in short form, you just say ama. Ama, ama, like that. I know my children call my wife, their mother, ama, like that at home. So, but at that time, the British were not calling ama, they were saying bamba. And later on, from that, the city became Bombay. From that mispronunciation, finally got this. And not only that, even the Mohammedans could not pronounce S as S, they pronounced S as H. So there was a Sindhu river, and the Sindhu name got changed to Hindu. So in the Shastra, you don't find Hindu mentioned anywhere because Hindu is actually a misnomer. It's a mistake from the pronunciation by the Mohammedans or Muslims. The real religion is Sanatana Dharma. That is meant for all human beings. It's not for just one particular race or one particular country. This is the real religion. And many living entities, human beings, and of course other kinds not in human bodies. But of all of that, Durga for the material world is mother and Krishna is father. And it's through the seeding by the father that the mother produces, as we well know. So Krishna says, Aham bija pradapita. I am the seed-giving father of all. Then there's the Shastra, 4 Vedas, Riga, Atharva, Yaju, and Samaveda. The commentary on the Vedanta Sutra is what we know as Srimad Bhagavatam. he took some time to talk about book distribution going on very nicely. At that time, they were distributing from where they were at in Hawaii, 100 books daily. So Papa was very glad to hear that. Maybe those who are involved in book distribution, they went out every weekend, even if you have your full-time job. But the days that you're off, a couple of days a week that you're off, you went out one of those days, the books would move. And in fact, your own spiritual life would go on very nicely. Everything that we do in Krishna consciousness, Krishna rewards accordingly. And he's already said that. To the extent to which we submit and serve, he rewards accordingly. So if you want to be happy, serve more, and serve more, putting your heart into the service. So Srila Prabhupada described the books, that most books that were being written, apart from the small books, the regular sized books were about 400 pages. And there are a lot of them. Christians have one Bible, Muslims have one Quran, but we have many books. 18 Puranas, 108 Upanishads, then there's Mahabharata. And so Krishna consciousness movement is a scientific movement, he said. And we also give respect to the cow. So Dharma is inquiring about the cow. When cows are protected, and then he mentioned the cow protection in New Vrindavan, one particular cow was giving as much as 80 pounds of milk daily. 80 pounds, it's a lot. That's almost 9.5 gallons of milk from one cow. So when they are protected, then they're more likely to give more milk because they don't feel that when you can't come near them, that you're going to harm them. If the cows feel like they know that other cows are being killed among the herd, they'll know that it's only a matter of time that they will also get killed. Therefore, if a person that kills cows, they come around the cows, supposedly the owners of the cows, but they kill the cows. Every day some cow is killed. And yesterday we were talking about it. Part of the reason why there's so much unrest and war is because animals, especially cows, are being killed. And the result of doing that is now on men. That people are also being killed, without any reservation. So anyway, for this one, Srila Prabhupada says the milk nourishes our brains. Very, very, very nutritious food. So rather than kill the cow and drink the blood of the cow, the blood that actually gets changed inside the cow to become milk. And milk is very nourishing for us. As a matter of fact, just make one point. In the book called The Higher Taste, the first half of it, if you read, first half is making a case for vegetarianism and especially for the cow. The cow is better for us economically. If we didn't know anything else spiritual, even economically, there's proof that the cow is better for us alive than to be killed. So then the second half of the book, second part of the book is where the recipes are for different vegetarian meals from different countries. So anyway, to come back to this, the milk nourishes, we can make milk products, and that nourishes our brain. So many milk products that can be made from the milk. And that helps our brains because without becoming intelligent, one cannot understand Krishna or Krishna consciousness. We also find in many pictures that are drawn, we find Krishna with cows. So he's teaching us by that. You don't see Krishna committing violence to the cows. Krishna is always, and you see the cows are very, very, very happy being around Krishna. And to this day, every day, he takes the cows. And even in Golok Vrindavan, he takes the cows. And the cows are milked, and then they're taken for the day with the cowherd boys. And it's a very, very, very blissful situation that they have. in Goku, in India, in Vrindavan, the Vrindavan that we're not privy to seeing because we're not that advanced, they're still there. That pastime goes on every day. Mhm. So then there is also Dharma, religious principles. Religious life is meant to be very clean. This is one of the requirements of the body, to be clean. Clean means not just physically clean, but clean mentally also. Simple life will not help us. People are so dull at this point that they don't even know that there's a next life. Some people don't even accept it. So to understand Krishna well, you need good brains. Good milk preparation gives us that. When people will understand you have to transmigrate from one body to another. This is what people are going through now, and they're becoming entangled. As Prabhupada was saying, well, now people have different bodies. Like in America, they have American bodies, but what's the guarantee that they'll have a good body next life? They may even not. There's no guarantee that a person will have even a human body next life. If one acts in a mode of ignorance, it's automatic. They go to an animal life. If one is involved in the kind of business that involves nudity, they're going to go into a tree body in the next life and be outside, exposed to weather and everything. And sitting in one place, and anyone can do anything to that. It is a torturous type of lifestyle. So, in order to understand things as they are, we require a good brain. And from the brain, from a good brain, how that happens is good milk preparation. So, and the milk comes from the cows. That's why it is important to protect our cow. Then we become happy this life, and then, of course, the next life too. Golok Vrindavan. Go is cow. Even the name of the place has to do with cow. So this is Krishna consciousness. And then, so that he ended there, and then there was a question asked about a devotee that said he had 4 questions, but not all of them were put here. He was asking about another Goswami, and people are, he was claiming that people think that those people in the Goswami and the Tusta Krishna Maharaj, they have more understanding of Krishna than this guy. They have advanced beyond following the rules and regulations of ISKCON? What a question. Anyway, Srila Prabhupada never, this way he answered it shows how humble he is. He didn't put those people down. He didn't put that other Maharaj down. He said, that's up to you. You judge by the results. So if those devotees if they are actually advanced, why should they leave the company of ISKCON? What he means is that everything to be provided for a person's growth in Krishna consciousness is already here. Remember earlier he talked about how many books are there? The Upanishads, Gita Upanishad is Bhagavad Gita. How many Upanishads, how many, all of those books, then the Mahabharata, all of them are here. So what's the point of going somewhere else and say I'm going to be advanced somewhere else when the whole Vedas, the summary of it is given to us? For us, even Lord Chaitanya's books, Lord Chaitanya did not write books, but he dictated Krishna consciousness to Sanatana Goswami, to Rupa Goswami, and they wrote the books. So basically, you can say the books are written on behalf of Lord Chaitanya. So many things that we can pick up from Nectar of Instruction and Nectar of Devotion, and so many other books that talk deeply about Krishna and Krishna's relationships. So then Srila Prabhupada said, I know they are very good souls, Again, Srila Prabhupada again, he doesn't hit people and criticize and put anybody down. So far, he hasn't said anything bad. But out of misunderstanding, they made a mistake. So you invite them back. You invite them back to ISKCON and come and serve and take their position. It's not a very good sign that they've left. And then he warned, they'll never be happy. That's a fact. They'll never be happy. So one thing about Krishna consciousness, speaking about that, the way Srila Prabhupada answered it, that we want to add to this, is that once you come into Krishna consciousness, if you try to leave and go back to the material energy, you will never be the same. You can fake it trying to enjoy sense gratification, but you will never really have enjoyment, because once your eyes are opened by the Krishna consciousness teachings, then our intelligence, anyone who leaves, their intelligence will keep pricking them and telling them, you're really not enjoying yourself. You're really making life more difficult. You're making your future more precarious or troublesome by being here. So once a person comes to Krishna consciousness, especially to this particular society, it's not a good idea to leave. It's not a good idea to leave. And when a person leaves, they find out later on that they don't feel happy. And Srila Prabhupada said they'll never be happy. You feel isolated. And you feel like, well, I've left on my own, so how will people think if I try to come back? If you feel embarrassed. So you want to come back, we realize that they're not happy where they are, and then trying to come back, they think that people will just look at them and say, well, you weren't thinking straight when you left. And that's even a nice way to put it. Maybe they think other strange, wonderful, insulting things to that person, but they won't say it out loud. And so then the person becomes very, they want to come back, but they feel they're stuck because of how people are going to think of them. So it's not a good idea to leave in the first place. Yes, Krishna consciousness involves having to get away from sense gratification. But after staying with it, in terms of getting rid of sense gratification, we begin to realize that life can actually go on without sense gratification. That's one. And then later on, to get to a point where the realization comes that actually, without sense gratification, we're in a better position. There's a lot of things that we won't have to worry about. When you hear about people in sense gratification and the trouble that comes with the sense gratification, and then you find out we're not part of it. No illicit sex. Well, we don't have any sexually transmitted diseases. We don't have children we don't want. Gambling. We're not losing money. Gamblers lose more than they gain. Intoxications. We're not messing up our liver, our health, our brains. So like that. So we're living a far more peaceful life. The world is actually disturbing, but obeying the regulative principles gives you a much more peaceful life than not obeying. And any of those things, if you don't obey them, it's automatic sense gratification. Automatic sense gratification. Illicit sex is sense gratification. Intoxication is sense gratification. Gambling is sense gratification. Meat eating is sense gratification. So we're trying to get away from sense gratification. And when we take that path, then it's spiritual life. And spiritual life is very, very, very elevating and peaceful. It's automatic peace. So we should try very hard to stay with it and not leave. Because Srila Prabhupada says we won't be happy. We cannot be happy. So he said that's a fact. So that's how he ended it. Hare Krishna. Any final comments or questions? If not, then we'd like to thank you for coming on. Let me just see. There's one in the chat. Oh, okay. Somebody was asking to increase the volume. It wasn't my situation. It had nothing to do with it. The volume went down because of the recording. That's why sometimes it's saying in the beginning, you should actually increase the volume of your listening devices because you don't know at what point this is electronics. You don't know. all kinds of things happen sometimes when you're recording. Anything can happen at any time. Nothing is perfect. All right, so have a wonderful day. One announcement is that today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Nishinga Chaturdasi. There is a program at 6 o'clock in the temple to come. Nishinga Chaturdasi also involves fasting. And in the evening, we break the fast in the temple with the Ekadashi feast. So tomorrow, please arrange your time today so you can come to the temple tomorrow evening. Be there for a wonderful Krishna protector is Fingerdev. And so a program for his is for him is very important. And Rath Yatra is coming up in only a couple of months, June, in the middle of June. So again, prepare some finances because it very much involves finances to pull it off. So be generous. That time comes next week on Madam CEO begin to announce the Rath Yatra and Rath Yatra preparation. And for all of us, it also means we have to contribute. It should be our biggest contribution of the year, Rath Yatra contribution, because it takes tens of thousands of dollars to pull it off. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhescha kripa sindhibhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you again. Hare Krishna.